Okay, I'm going to detail some posture ideas and frame ideas from underneath mount. We'll start with posture number one, and it's the posture you use when you're in mount bottom and you're flat on your back. So I want to pay particular attention to use of the arms. So anytime you're flat on your back underneath mount, your elbows have to be inside of the knees and then flat on the mat. So here's my arm position here. This is good posture inside mount bottom. This is not good posture. And you can see why. If my elbows get up, then his knees can get underneath them. And his main goal in mount top is to climb up as high as he can. Right. And when he does that, I'm in really bad shape. So my elbows have to be flat against the mat, and that's really the best way to use elbows as a frame to keep him from moving up. So anytime my elbows are inside his knees and touching the mat, it becomes impossible for him to move up. That's posture number one, and that's my elbows here. So let's look at the arms when I improve and go over to posture number two. Here. So this is my posture number two inside mount bottom. I'm up on my side, and now my arms are going to do slightly different things here. This elbow has to be inside the knee. So if it's not, I back up and insert it here, like that. This elbow is focusing on this hip right here. So it attaches to my body and moves back here and then isolates on the hip. And the reason it's on the hip here is to keep him from moving up. So as Hans tries to move up now, he's going to run into my elbow and it's going to keep him from doing that. So that's really important there. So my frame looks like this, that 90-degree angle, with this one inside here and this one blocking out the hip on this side. My head comes down and touches the mat here. In case he tries to get underneath like that, he won't be able to do it. That allows me to protect my neck without having to bring my hands up. Keeping my hands down low right here. So this elbow is attaching to the knee. This elbow is attaching to the hip here. And then from here, my escape becomes pretty simple. I'm just going to take my knee here and move it out like that. And when I do, notice that his foot pops over the top. And then from here, I'm going to do a crunch like this, and then drive my knee to my body. Crunch with my upper body, and then drive my knee to my body, while just leaving my frames in place. There. Now to finish my escape, I'm going to keep my elbow frames in place, because that's really important, and turn over. Like this, and then trip out. So one more time with that. This elbow has to be inside. This elbow is on that far hip, like that. And then my head down low here, and my foot kicks out. I'm going to drive this knee to my body, and then crunch forward like this until I get past his knee. Keeping my elbows in, turn over to the other side, and then trip out. Now let's look at long frames versus short frames from this position. I got two different frames I can use. In Jiu-Jitsu, your frames are elbow to shoulder or shoulder to wrist. This one is not a frame. This one is, or this one is. So I'm going to build a long frame here for a bit more leverage in this position. So I got my short frame in place here. Sometimes I might need a bit more leverage. So to get more leverage, I'm going to build my long frame. And what I want is I want this one. Can't do this because it's not a frame. So if I want to use the palms of my hands, I'm going to have to back way up like this and then insert it and then get it here, like this. And now I'm building a great long frame and my elbows are still touching my body, which is good jiu-jitsu. And that gives me a bit more leverage to do that. Keep my elbows in and turn over like this. And then now watch, I'm going to build my long frames again because I need longer ones. Here, like this, to escape. So anytime I'm escaping in jiu-jitsu, I'm either using my short frames or my long frames. My long frames never do this because my elbows are away from my body. I have to arch my body back to keep my elbows in contact. Now let's take that same idea and we'll apply to S-mount, which is a place that guys will go sometimes if your posture's good. So let's start out in regular mount, and then Hans will move up to S mount. there. When a guy's in S mount, I'm going to still use my frames, and I'm going to use them essentially in the same way. So this bottom elbow has to come in and get inside of his heel right there. This top elbow, its job is to block that hip right here, so Hans can't advance towards my head like that. If this top elbow is not blocking his hip, if it's here, he's going to advance up and he's going to come up and capture my shoulder girdle right there. And now I'm in a worse spot. So initially, when a guy gets S mount, my posture does all the work. This one comes in here and attaches to his heel, gets inside, and then this one blocks out the hip here, so now he can't advance. My head comes down to keep him from getting underneath and getting the collar. Right there. Yeah. So now I got good posture here from the S mount, and I can work my escapes. For escaping, I'm either going to attack the knee or the foot, and I'm going to use my frames. That's all I'm going to use. If I know good jiu-jitsu, I can just apply the frames and then work from there. So I can build a long frame against the knee. There's a long frame against the knee. And work some escapes. I can use a short frame and then work against the ankle. Elbows still in contact with the body. I got a frame here like this. I'm going to back out and then go. That works pretty well. So once I understand some jiu-jitsu, then all I'm doing is just building my frames, short frame, long frames. I may be able to work a long frame against the ankle. Does the same thing. So now I've built to a long frame here, create some space, and then now I can escape. As long as I'm using good solid jiu-jitsu principles. So short frame, long frame, long frame, short frame, jiu-jitsu. If his knees down, short frame, long frame. From mount, this posture, elbows in, and if I'm doing the upa, I can frame here. Notice my elbow's still tight against my body here, and my hand's on his hip, so now when I do the upa, I get a little bit extra lift here. What I don't do is reach up here and get my elbow away from the body. That's a poor frame. This frame is good. This one stays in, and then I upa here, and I can create space. But my upa still adheres to my framing principle. So, upa here, notice I'm going to my long frame now, but my elbow's still in contact with my body because of my upa. So it's still good, solid, fundamental jiu-jitsu. And the frame is keeping him from advancing his hip. Can't advance his hip there. So there's my good frame here. I'm going to add another frame in here and then pull. Frame, so short frame, long frame. And let's end it there. Thanks.